Hey everybody, today I'm going to make some Christmas cards. Thought you might like to sit and join me. If you like this kind of video, let me know and like this video and subscribe. I'm getting some really good subscribers here lately. So I'm using these Rosa Gallery paints and I'm using some handmade paper from Shizen, and I thought, wouldn't these make great cards? Paint the front like I have over here, and then put them on front of a card and mail them off. They're just really, really quick and easy, and here we'll go. So the first one I'm going to do is a pine cone. Been working on this pine cone forever. So I'm going to just start up here at the top, and I'm using a different brush today. This is a Winsor & Newton, and I'm just going to start with some raw sienna and just start making just brush marks, the shape of the brush. I got one that was a little bit not a point, so I could get this rounded top to the pine cone. I didn't want a real sharp tip, so I just kept, chose my brush wisely. Raw sienna, because there is some light tones, and we always want to start with light to dark. And then I'm going to start here and finish it here. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that alone just for a minute, because otherwise my next color will just whoosh into that. So I'm going to get a darker brown tone. I'm just going to check these out to see what they are. That's pretty good. And I'm going to make the stem. And I'm going to go ahead and touch it. Okay, so that looks a little bit unfinished, of course. So we're going to come back in here and take the rest of this brown that's on the brush, and I'm just going to touch it in here to these areas to get a secondary tone. Not going all the way up, because I want to leave some of that raw sienna showing. And just get that middle value. I really like this brush for this project. I'll let you know more at the end how it turns out. Okay. All right, so while that sets a minute, I'm going to get a smaller brush so it doesn't hold quite as much pigment, and I'm going to get some dark. And this is a black tone. I'm not exactly sure if it's ivory black or lamp black. I can't remember, and I don't have a swatch card. Oh, but I do have the box. Let's see, that first one I used was raw sienna, and then the second one I used was sepia, and the black I'm using is called neutral black. So that is good. Now I'm just putting that neutral black down here towards the bottom. Get some more water on my brush. But I don't want a whole lot because I don't want it to overtake. I don't want it to overtake the paper. This paper stays wet for a good period of time. So I start with the raw sienna, and then I did some sepia, and then I'm going to put this black right here. And the darkest is on the inside. And that is looking, I'm pretty satisfied with how that looks. I'll get that. Okay. I might just pull that in and get those darkest areas filled in. I'll leave a couple little white marks in there so you can kind of see that it does. And I just have very little pigment left on my brush, so I'm just going to dry brush that down. Okay, so while that's drying, we'll let it do its thing. I'm going to get some of this green up here. And it's just called green. It is a PG8 color, but it's a nice color. And I'm going to just start making some evergreen, pine, on either side of this. It's hard to paint and talk at the same time, you know. Either side of this pine cone. This paper is nice. It's really not that expensive. Okay. Now, let's put some darker value in there. Let's go in here and mix a little bit, just what's on my palette. Make it a little bit darker. Just some dry brush there. Okay, so we'll leave that as it is. Now, I'm going to go in here with my Princeton Neptune brush, and it is a synthetic squirrel, so it's going to hold a lot of water. So I'm going to take this beautiful red, which is a carmine, I believe. No, it is cadmium red light. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's carmine. And I'm just going to go and make a border. Let's start down here at the bottom. I'm just going to eyeball it. And I might get some crooked lines. And if I do, that's okay. These are handmade cards. I'm gonna go down here, just make a red Christmassy border. Get some more paint. These Rosa Gallery paints, I'm telling you, they're really saturated. So to get that, this almost looks like a gouache effect, but if you water it down, they're just so pigmented. So you really have to use a lot of water to get a lighter effect. All right, there's that. And one more. There. Okay, well, we'll let that dry and then we'll come back and put some final details on the pine cone. Okay, so now this is dry. So I'm going to take this fine liner. This is a Shizen. They sent it to me. It's a 0.04, similar to a 0.05. There's all different kinds of fine liners out there. You can get them from Mr. Penn. You can get them from Arctics, Winsor & Newton, Micron. I'll link some in the description below. And I'm just going to go back and put some detail on these. Not a whole lot. Just a little. And you don't have to be real precise. Just go around and enjoy the process. Just enjoy the process of making cards and painting and I'm gonna put one right there. And think about the person you're going to send it to. This turned out pretty good. I liked using that brush that didn't have a real pointy tip. You can get them from Princeton. You can get them online. I like Princeton brushes. To me, they're the best brushes out there. I'll put that kind of this way and like it's folded out. And come around here and do this. This is like the inside part, and this is like the outside part. You can do it that way. You don't have to be real precise about anything. This is just having fun, just making some Christmas cards. And I like penning, but I will tell you, this paper, I like this paper a lot, but it is a little bit harder on the ink pens. That's kind of coming back in the back, and this is kind of coming up in the front. And we're going to come down here, and let's take some and go here. And we might put some final details in with the paint. Oh, that's kind of cute. I'll pull some lines down here, just where it's kind of light. Yeah. So let's take a little bit of darker black and just touch it in here in the centers, give it a little bit more shadow. I love this neutral black. It's a mix of like 3 colors, I think. I think it's got PB15 and PBK7. It's PBQ15 column 1, 15 column 1, PBK7 and PR177. So it's a nice blend to make a black. And just put a little bit more shadow in here. Just spread it out. Maybe take some, mix it with that green. And put little dark leaves in there. There's one Christmas card. So, all right, let's do another one. Okay, the next Christmas card we're going to do is a Christmas tree. And we're going to just do just a very easy Christmas tree. We're just going to go back and forth with our brush loaded with Rosa Gallery's green. I'm going to put that up there. And easy peasy. And let's take some brown and put a trunk. Let's rinse our brush. I think I'm just going to drag that out a little bit. Make a ground. And then take some of this raw sienna, which is gold in color, and do another border. It doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight lines. If you want to get it a little wobbly, you can. I always turn my paper and pull the brush towards me. I can make a straighter line that way. And this is just a really easy way to make a Christmas tree. Put some grass down there. Oh, I got my finger in it, but there we go. Very, very pretty. Now, if you want some darker in there, you can always take your black and mix it with that green. So you have the same color. And just drop in some darker shades to give it some dimension. Push some of that back. Put some dark on one side of the trunk, and there we go. How easy was that? I mean, my goodness. That is just the simplest Christmas card there is. So, okay, let's do another one. Okay, for the final card, I'm going to do a mistletoe. So I'm going to I'm going to use my Daniel Smith paints this time. And we'll see how it is with saturation and stuff compared to that Rosa Gallery. Now I'm going to use this is a pretty watery mix. So I'm going to add some more pigment to this. This is green apatite genuine and indigo. And this will give me just a nice mix. Now I'm going to go on with do I want this English red or Indian red, or do I want burnt umber? I think I'll go burnt umber. Mixed with a little bit of this green. I'll make it kind of an olive green. And I'm just going to go down with one branch. And off of these branches, I'm going to kind of take a twiggy effect here. And then I'm going to get this, and I'm going to go in with a light layer. We'll see if that's the color I want. I don't think it is. I don't know. Maybe all right. I think it needs to be a little bit more green. So I want to leave room for some berries. Might put some green up here, make this a double leaf. And down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'll put a berry there. And then another leaf down here. Just making it look pleasing to my eye. And maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe one here. Grab a little bit more water. Okay, now I'm going to take some, let's see, maybe some of this shadow violet. Or I could add some, what's this color? I think that's a purple. So let me add some of this purple to this green. And I might get a gray. Yeah. Take my brush and rinse it off. I'm just going to put some white berries. And to get white, you got to paint gray. I think that's too dark. Take some more pigment off. Let's lift it up a little bit. There we go. Still got too many on there. Too much on there. Daniel Smith's got a lot of pigment in it. I may go back and change my mind and make them red berries. I think I will. So I think I'll take some of this quinacridone red. I hope they don't ever get rid of this color. I'm loving this color. Yeah. There we go. And down here, see a little bit more pigment. So sometimes when I want more saturation, I won't rinse it out or mix it out on a plate. I'll just go directly from the pan with a wet brush. That way I get a higher concentration of pigment. Okay, so let's go and make this branch a little longer. And tie it up with a red ribbon. Connect those lines. Now I want that ribbon to be a little bit less saturated. So I'm going to mix it down with some water. You let me know if you like this paper and like the looks of it. I do. I like it. I think it gives it, a different look. Oh, that's bleeding a little bit into that green. That's okay. We're not going to worry about it. We're not going to worry about it. I may let that dry though, so then I can paint those streamers down around and not disturb that. So there we go. Okay, what are we going to go around it with? Red. I think red would be pretty. Okay, let's get some red. I hope you can see that. Maybe you may not be able to see my mixing up here. I could do it right here. I got this plate from Walmart, I believe. And it's just like a child's corral plate. It works perfect for mixing. Okay, so let's get that. And let's get a good saturation of Quin Red. Because I don't want it to fade much. I want a nice thick consistency. But I gotta have it flowy enough so it'll flow across the page. This is rough paper. I think I'll start right here. There we go. That's the first one. It's a little off. Maybe if I put my finger here and guide it. I don't know. Maybe if I put my hand on a paper towel, the surface is kind of... It's moving a little better. I might go back over those lines. Still crooked. It just shows it's handmade. It's really bumpy paper. Let's make these two lines a little thicker. Not perfect, but that's okay. Not perfect, but okay. You get that. The more water you have on your brush, the easier it will flow. Let's just get that corner. Okay. So what do I want to do? Do I want to do anything else? It's still wet. So on this paper, it takes a little bit longer to dry. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and go on the bottoms of these berries. And maybe a little shadow on... I want a damp brush because I don't want the water to flow into a wet area. And put a little shadow in the leaves. See, my brush is pretty dry. I'm going to take that pigment off, dry my brush, and manipulate that and soften those edges. All right, we'll wait for that to dry and come back after it does and do those streamers. Okay, this is dry. I took a hair dryer to it. Did have some issues going on with maybe that heat gun burning that paper a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to take this, make these streamers. I think I'm going to go around the edge here and put that a darker value. Make the ribbon. And make that ribbon. So that'll, you know, kind of cover that up. And maybe put some stripes. All right, so what else can we do to this card? You can do a lot of things. You could take, here's a Posca marker, and here is a Micron 08, and this is a brand that was sent to me. You wouldn't want to use Micron on this this is rough paper. The thicker the Micron, the better. And you can just outline it. Outline those berries. Give it a little bit of definition. I don't know. I like pen and ink. I just think it's, you don't have to worry about staying in the lines. If you go outside the lines, it's no big deal. So if you want to, I did a really cute little gnome, an elf, and it's on my videos too. I've got 3 years worth of videos, over 300. You can go back and watch. I'll link my other Christmas videos at the end of this one. If you like this, I hope you like and subscribe. And, it helps, and share it, and just enjoy. Now, okay, so you could stop there. That's cute. You could go around this with the black marker. Seems like the faster I go, the better. You don't have to think about it. And then if you put your eye where you're going, look at that, messed it up. That's okay. If you go slower, it seems like you mess it up more. Oh, messed it up there too. I'm not going to worry about it. My hands have been a little bit shaky. Then you could take a Posca marker. This is an acrylic. And let's see. And put dots. And just get real zen about it. Because the best thing about these and about this is enjoying the process. You could use a bigger Posca marker and just keep it random and space them about the same way apart. It's kind of cute. You could do stripes. These are just really easy holiday cards. So let's go over. I'm not going to finish. That's boring for you to watch. So I'm just going to go over the different cards we got. We got the mistletoe. You can do any color of mistletoe you want. You can do white berries. You can do no bow. You could do green trim or gold trim. Do it how you want. The possibilities are limitless. The first one we done was a pine cone, and I took some acrylic Posca and did a gold trim. And then I did some others. I did a landscape with a winter landscape with some green trim. And then in my free time, I don't know if I did this on camera, I did a little bird. I did another pine cone. All my pine cones aren't equally as good as that first one. This one was my favorite. But, you know, I did that. I did this little bird. I did this Christmas tree with, this is just raw sienna around the edge. I did this Christmas tree with raw sienna. But, you know, I mean, you could do a, or you could do, I was going to say you could do a gold star, but you could go in there and do, just take some yellow and do a star. At the top. That's cute. So I did that Christmas tree. I did, or I don't know if it's a Christmas tree, just a tree. That pine cone with red trim. That pine cone, just messing around with different things until you find something you like. Lots of trees. And I'm just going to take these and glue them on. I think these are Strathmore watercolor cards. You can get a big pack of them for cheap, or you can just even use cardstock, just plain cardstock, and then glue them on. I'll probably scrap this one. I don't like this one very much. I took some oil pastels and put on it so it feels kind of weird. Just trying to make snow. So there you go. Some ideas for some Christmas cards. And that's cute. I like that one. You could put sky back there. That's probably one of my favorites, and this is probably one of my favorites. And this one, I like this one. You know, I messed up on almost every one of them. So, but the receiver will probably be more happy just to get something from you that's handmade. So just have fun with it and enjoy the process, and happy holidays. Bye.